All right, good day and welcome to this edition of African Agriculture Baselines. I'm your host Mark Brown, along with Francis Gabati and Advanced Field Facilitator Niaje Sowah. Last episode we had viewers from around the world writing in questions to Mr. Sowah on the mango value chain and the advanced interventions. So without further ado, we'll get started. Our first question is from Mike in Tamale. Mike writes, Mr. Sowah, as far as the export ban to Lebanon goes, what steps are being taken to remove the ban? Is there a time period on it or conditions that must be met? What is Advance doing specifically on that topic?
Mike, I think as far as the ban goes, Ghana is doing so much to get the ban lifted, and the government actually, there are conditions that has to be met. So to answer that part of the question, there are specific conditions that has to be met by the government, and they have put together documents showing that they have met those conditions and sent it to the Lebanese authorities. And in connection with that, actually 2 weeks ago, the Lebanese Minister for Exports and Quarantine visited Ghana, and he saw for himself what Ghana is doing to ensure that as far as fruit fly evasion goes, Ghana is taking every possible step to address it. And in connection with timelines, we don't know yet. We have shown that we have satisfied the conditions. We have proven that the fruit fly, that is the Ceratitis corsera, is not so prevalent in Ghana, and we are working towards even eliminating the ones we have presently available in Ghana. That's the Bactocera invading.
All right. Mike also had Mina had a question also from Tamale in Ghana. How quickly did market women and local processors adjust their prices, and by how much, following the ban? Do you have any ideas or strategies on how to introduce competition so the price farmers receive is restored? Before
I go to Mina's question, I think the last part of Mike's question in respect to what Advance specifically is doing to address the issue. I think Advance, as a partner in the industry, we are trying to help the farmers eliminate the fruit fly from the system by introducing them to this new kind of trap used to trap the male fruit fly. That's the stop mating pheromone trap. And we have conducted some trials, and presently we're encouraging farmers to adopt the technology, which others have started already, and it's fantastic. The result is so good. And coming back to Mina's question, I think for the women, they adjust their price as quick as situations favors them. Presently, I think they were not so aware of the ban. All they knew was that mango was in the system, and they just rushed in to buy them. But the thing is that the price has not really changed so much. It has not really changed, because the last, maybe it's been stable. It's been stable because the last season we had similar prices, 50 pesos going for a kilo of mango, and it's the same. It's basically the same now. For now, with respect to competition and having farmers have the best price or having value for money, I think the issue really is not about competition here, because farmers naturally are not supposed to detect price, just that they've got to at least break even for the input they put into their farms. But that said, I would say that the farmers are indeed getting a good price, because if you are not getting the very premium price and you can get the price that would at least give you your maintenance cost and you get a little margin of profit, I think it's fine for them.
Great, thanks a lot. Now we're moving to Jordan from Victoria, Canada. Are there any natural predators to the fruit fly? And if so, have there been any efforts to try to increase their abundance by planting beneficial plant species among the mangoes?
There is, as we know, that the red ant, that's the Ocophila, is a natural predator to the fruit fly, and it's been tested in some parts of the central region of Ghana on citrus plantations, where they introduce the Ocophila into an organic farm. You see, the Ocophila is such that it's also an insect, so when you spray the pesticides, it will just kill them. So it can only be used on organic fields where they are not spraying any kind of pesticide that is intended to kill pests on the fields.
Right.
And when you talk about plants, for now, I can't say specifically.
Great. Then we have another question from Ben in Mount Myra, Vancouver Island. What is the source of the pheromone solution used to attract the male fruit flies? Is there any possibility of attracting untargeted insects? And could this endanger pollinators?
I think the source is actually from the pheromone is actually the female sexual lure. So it's from the fly itself. But the whole thing was engineered in India, and it was brought into Ghana by a Ghanaian input dealer who happened to get a connection into India to the manufacturers of this top mating block that has the pheromone plus a killing agent. And the thing is that it's so amazing because of the pheromone. The insect that is attracted is the male fruit fly. So as a matter of fact, sometimes some other pollinators may fall victim, but it doesn't really, because from the test we have conducted, you take a container and you have about 1,000 or 2,500 fruit flies dead in there, and there isn't even a single ant in the trap. That tells us, I mean, it's not really a big danger. Some ants or some other pollinators may fall victim, but it's not targeting them in any way.
Because the pheromone itself is for the Bactrocera set of fruit fly species which are being attracted.
Exactly.
And that's all invasive species.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay. Okay, we have another question from Brandon Beatty, writing all the way from Polynesia. What direction do you see in the near future for possible agroforestry land use methodologies adoption for crops that house tree species? Sorry, for this one, there's a little bit of background which Brandon wrote before, which maybe I'll just revisit. I beg your pardon. There's a lot of research out there which suggests an extreme reduction in agriculture pathogens or pests when agri-systems are inclusive of ecosystem services inherent in more natural systems which attempt to include a thinned down native canopy, native herbaceous plants intercropped with the desired crop species. In that case, the desired crop species being mangoes. So I guess he's saying, in not so biological terms, maybe, what direction for sort of an integrated agroforestry approach as opposed to the monocropping like this?
I think what we try to do is not necessarily encourage farmers to go into an integrated mixed cropping approach. We want to encourage them at a level of your farm. You can intercrop with other plant species, but with time we encourage them actually to go fully monocropping, because mango is a tree crop, and as it grows, it gets some time. You should leave it alone on the land, not competing with any other kind of crop for the nutrients in the soil. And as mango gets older, it actually begins to fruit more. So as it gets older, you should give it the right condition to fruit better. And also, we don't want to endanger the mango at certain points in time where you intercrop with other crops, and then these crops tend to introduce new pests onto the field. You see, because we know from research that there are certain insects that attack the mango, and also they attack other kind of crops.
Right.
So if you are not careful and you encourage intercropping without carefully considering the pros and cons of the issue. You encourage farmers to go in here to control certain problems on the farm, and you introduce new problems for them in the future. So for now, we don't actually encourage the intercropping. You can do the intercropping when the mango has not gotten to its peak. Let's say from the planting years till the 5th year, you can intercrop. But after that, from the 6th, 7th, 8th year, we encourage that you go monocropping, so that you can, one, keep a high sanitation on your farm, keep the farm very tidy, and that is one main way to keep out pests and diseases from your farm.
Excellent. And I think that question is actually a great segue to this other question, which Jordan from Victoria wrote in, asking if mangoes that grow among diverse forests still have the same issue with the fruit fly, or is the problem only restricted to plantations?
That's a really important question, and that's something we observed during our trials. You know, Advance as a project, we are trying to stop mating pheromone traps in different farms at different areas in Ghana. And it would be interesting to note that actually farms that are closer to the wild are more susceptible to fruit fly invasion. Why? Because the wild harbors so many fruits that are either edible or not edible, and these plants become hosts to the fruit flies, and they tend to multiply usually from the wild, and then they come straight into the plantation. So the situation is such that you control so well on your plantation, and the next farm to you has been left to grow into a wild, and you always have them coming back because these traps will attract them. When your fruits are ripened on the tree, they would attract these flies. So actually the wild is causing a lot of problems. So we are working on the plantation now, but I know as time goes on, Ghana has a national fruit fly committee. We'll begin to work on addressing the issue from the wild, and then sustainably curbing the level of fruit fly invasions in the country. Because
it's not as if mango is the exclusive host to this pest.
Yeah, there are so many other plants that there are some inedible plants out there that are really good hosts to these fruit flies.
Great. Okay, and then I guess we have the one final question from Brandon, and he just writes, is there much in the field positive results from programs like these? So yeah,
there is it's so bad, I should have brought the fruit fly for you to see. There's good results out there, and we are working really hard, and farmers are actually testifying to it. And Francis is here, he's a farmer, and he's seen some of the results, so he can talk about it maybe in a moment.
Francis, what do you have to say about what you've seen and what you've heard about the fruit fly traps so far?
Okay, even this morning I was even discussing it with Mr. Saki and my mother. And then I told him I saw some of the traps at his farm here. I saw the disease inside. I saw that they have trapped it, and then they are just entering. So it's very nice. So my mother was very happy to hear those research, and then in fact we think in future we will be well with those type of disease, and then everything will be free if the research continues.
Sure.
And the research, I was very happy. Though I saw it, and then I get near it, I saw how it is made, and I was surprised how they entered and they cannot come out.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
It's interesting.
It's very interesting.
Okay. Well, that's all the time that we have for this edition. But from Somanya, Ghana, for Francis Gabati, I'm Mark Brown.
I'm Nia J. Sowah.
And that's the baseline.
Oh, that's interesting.